crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Welcome home, family, and join us for the fun. Colorful guests, people everywhere under the sun. Interesting conversations, prayers first has begun. Invocation, manifestation, conversation then will come. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Let's start drinking some water, juice or tea. King Killer's recommended for you and me. Guayusa mixed together, maple syrup or honey. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Learn from the healers, crystals, pyramids. Learn from the healers, the artists, the seers, authors and teachers, dissolving your fears. Workshops of wisdom, the circle is wide. Plant medicine whispers, the planets align. All magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Crystals and pyramids, magnets that spin. Orgone awakening the power within. Tantra and herbs, the gateways ignite. Shamanic drums calling truth into light. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids.
Can y'all hear me now? Okay. I just invited all the ascended masters. So we're gonna bring on young elder.
Oh yeah, we couldn't hear nothing you said, man. Like the whole first 5 minutes you talked, man. We couldn't hear nothing.
Oh man, that was let me tell you, apologize, y'all. I was inviting the ascended masters, Yahshua, Melchizedek, Enoch, Black Madonna, Mother Mary. I should have put the music on,
Fire,
but
that's fire. I like that.
we riding on their shoulders, young elder,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
we're gonna have a little jazzy, smooth background sound. Let me see it. This one here, we'll put on this one. Let's try this one. So we be like in a barbershop nightclub kind of vibe because it's
Can you turn
casual.
it down? Can you turn it halfway down?
Huh?
Can you turn it halfway down? I mean, you don't gotta turn it down, but can you if you turn it half? Because people, I notice people are gonna probably start saying, "Oh, the music."
Yeah, I got that turned all the way down. Y'all tell me if that sound all right, family. Put in the comments. Okay, they can hear us now. Thank you. Put in the comments, family, where you're listening in from. Okay, thank you for letting me know that I was talking to myself. I was just saying that I was deep diving into the ceramic pool, so I got to wrap up because it's cold up here in the north. Where you at, bro?
In Louisiana.
Dude, you probably got what, like 60-degree weather or something?
Yeah, it's about around 60 something. You get a little colder now outside when it get dark.
I'll switch up with you.
Yeah,
welcome, man.
Hey, you up there at some 20, like 30-degree joint, 40-degree joints, man.
Yo, it was in the teens a few days ago, man.
Man, that's crazy.
You got Dominican Republic, Alabama, Tampa, Florida. We got folks listening in from all kinds of spaces and places out there.
About to get lit.
Yeah. You got an old school vibe to you, man.
Oh yeah.
What you into, man? Tell us, share with the family, let the folks know for the first time on the show what kind of mystic magic.
Oh, we I'm
gonna put you full screen, bro. Full screen. Go ahead.
We as Sons of the Green Light, we into a little bit of everything. Like, could you cut the music though? I can freestyle without the music.
Oh, you got it, bro. You got it.
Yeah, I can freestyle.
Go ahead, man.
I'm the freestyle king. I'm what you call an acapella king, though. But I do tapes with music on them with the background. Right now, my page is under review right now for monetary situations because of so many tapes that I'm putting out. So they want to see how I'm putting. I had to show them how I'm putting them out. So hopefully they check that out. Yeah, they demonetized it because of that. Because my AI tapes, but my AI tapes ain't like everybody else's. Mine is actually taking me a long time to do them. So they gonna look at it and then do what they gotta do. But that ain't no problem.
That's interesting because I find a lot of the drum majors of social media are like they're musicians.
Yeah.
Red pill, blue pill, Brother Rich, musician. Brother Rich been messing with the keyboard and sound effects for forever.
Yeah, I started DJing and all that. I was a DJ. I was a music producer for a long time. I produced a lot of tracks for a lot of people. And then I did that for a while. That's when I was younger because I had already been doing it since high school. So I mixed and mastered, learned how to mix and master, do all that. And then I can show you, I got a whole studio over now where I can just pretty much record whatever I want right now. I just stopped making music because I started like really getting hard on the teaching. And so I got so much to teach and so less time to teach it that it's like most of the groundwork has already been laid already by the master teacher, Dr. Malachi. Well, my master teacher, I got my number one master teacher is Dr. Malachi York. But like I say, I take information from everywhere, from everybody.
He's a musician too, bro.
Yeah, he was an artist. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
He was a musician.
That's right. He could play out.
Humbada. Yeah. Phil for Joyce. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got music acoustical priests. That's what y'all are. You know that, right?
Yeah. So Yeah, sound
Sound,
speeds.
man.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about sound. Sound speeds up to create light. Sound is light. Slow down. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, and light is thought slowed down. So what happens?
Wow.
Yeah, so what happens is that light, that thought creates a light, and then that light creates a sound, and it's all connected as one though. It's all connected as one. It's just a sound. The sound is the connection that we get, and we only can hear certain frequencies. But then that sound speeds up to create light, and then that light creates a thought. Let me break it down a little bit more for people that think I'm talking crazy. All
Nah, this
right,
sounds good, man. We gonna have fun tonight. Go ahead, brother.
so when you hear music, right, it goes into your eardrums. Listen to that, drums, eardrums, right? Music goes into your eardrums, and then once it hits the eardrum, it then goes because it comes in as sound, and then it turns into light because you get images in your head based on what the lyrics is about, and if you're a real tuned in person, you can get images from the beats. Because me, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a producer, so when I listen to music, I listen to a song 100 times. But first I listen for the sounds, the beats, the tune, the drums, mainly the drums, the rhythm of the drums. If I like,
That bass line.
yeah, that bass line is hot. That bass line is hot. I say, okay, well, they got something here. James Brown stuff was all like that, right? James Brown, bad man. James Brown, a bad man. He can take anybody and put some stuff together, just like Barry White, right? Barry White was a bad man. He's a maestro, right? But once you hear that music in your ear, it speeds up to create this light. That light, which is the images, right? It's images. So you get images in your head of what the person is saying. And like you also could do it, like I said, off the instrumental or the beat. You can hear, and it's like if Prince is a good person to look into that as far as listening to his instrumentals and then looking at the artwork in his instrumentals. Prince is a good person to look at like that. Michael Jackson was good at it too, and like I say, Barry White. But Prince was a whole nother level, and far as his funk and how he James Brown too. James Brown.
Don't forget Rick James now.
James bad man too. Rick James,
Smokey Robinson, Funk Brothers.
Robinson. That's right. So you go back farther than me.
Jamie Jameson from the Funk Brothers.
That's right.
Dong 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 dong. Yeah, that was Jamie Jameson.
Like, and I'm talking about not only that. We're talking about dealing with analog and digital. I'm gonna talk about that too, but let me just finish what I was saying about the sound. Yeah, analog versus digital. That's what they switched us to digital. But analog is everything played with soul, and the digital is taking the soul out of it, right? But yeah. The digital was to get rid of our soul. That's what they was trying to do, because everything that's played by hand and like with drums and guitar, it had them strokes. Those computerized strokes is not the same as a natural live human being with a soul. They eat soul food. They got rhythm. Playing that guitar live like that is different than a drum. I got drum machines. I got the MP37. I got all the drum machines and the Fruit Loops, all that. So it ain't the same as somebody playing it live. It just ain't. It's never gonna be the same because that's analog. But let me say what I'm gonna go to. I'll teach you more about the analog. Let me just tell you about the sound. All right. So when that sound speed up in your head, you get an image. And now they knew this. They studied this. They showed you in our clone Tyrone. They've been studying this, and they used it as a weapon against us. Once they figured out all this, they weaponized it. And so now once you hear the beat and get the image in your head of what the beat's saying, because I like euphoria type instrumentals, like R&B, soft R&B, old school R&B, this jazz, something that you feel like you sit in a shake-yard shop chilling and with some rich people. Just life is peachy, like that type of jazz, like I had to let you hear like what I'm talking about. But
I know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, good soft jazz, just kick back, like it does something to your mental construct. So now with the sound, and they studied that with classical music, that kids that listen to more classical music, their IQ is higher than kids that listen to the other types of music, like the rap. hip hop and all that. But hip hop is a good genre. Hip hop is good too because it's our culture. It's part of our. It's a science behind our culture and hip hop. I'll get to that too. But let me get this sound thing out.
Do your thing, bro. Flow. Go ahead. You ain't gonna get much block from me, man. Just go ahead, because I'm loving this, man.
Hey, I'll tell you, bro. So when you get sound speed up, and then you say when you hear the lyrics, now if you're a real person that listen to music, when you get the instrumentals nice, you go to the lyrics. Now, what is the brother saying? Is he giving you a storyline, or is he just slapping a whole bunch of crazy mess together like they doing now? It ain't taking that much time for them to do no. They don't even write no more. And it could be because of the time frame we in, but like a lot of the artists wrote a lot of stuff like it was poetry, it was this and that. So it was more of a storyline to it.
Yes, it
was. When you hear it now, and then the other stuff they had to get rid of, where had more educational, like the Osley Brothers, it's cheaper to keep, all these different things they had. It was like more of lessons than those old school things. But this new
stylistics,
yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
So the new wave is create a third grade paradigm to trap them in. And so when you hear the lyrics, it's all about desires and money, the things that keep you desirable, to this realm, to this lower dimensional, to your lower chakra, to your root chakra. They want to keep you grounded to that chakra. So they promote. So when you hear the music, it creates an image in your head. That's the light part. And then it gives off a thought as well. That whole paradigm becomes a thought after the light. The light becomes a thought. And then once it slows back down, it becomes sound again. Let me explain. So once you get the thought in your head, and once the dude rap, once you heard his song, you heard the beat, you heard his lyrics, it went in your brain, you created images in your mind based on what he's saying. Some people mostly rapping about, I gunned him down, I shot him, I stabbed him, I robbed the brother. And they usually don't use brother, they use the N-word, right? They say, I did this to the brother. It's mostly black, Nubian on Nubian, right? So it's like that type of thing. So you seeing this in your head, a little kid, anybody listening to it is imagining what he's saying. They saying, man, he's gunning somebody, get that. But it's normal right now because they normalize it from doing it to us so much since the Eazy-E, right? Since Eazy-E now and the NWA guys, right? So they normalized it by now. But when you see that images in your mind, that's really horror movies. They really rapping horror movies to us. You know what I'm saying? That's really a horror movie.
It's very select because you don't hear about going and burning up some Jews. You don't hear that. You don't hear about going downtown and knocking all the white folks around. You don't hear that. So the record companies are very specific with young artists to self-destruct. Now they got a lot of black women writing decadent stuff. Go ahead, brother.
Right, you right on it. You right on like Sexy Red and the Megan Stallions and those types. But they here to promote sexual promiscuity and sexuality to our young women. Right, and because it's all part of, they got a think tank against us, and it's just one fraction of the think tank. The music industry is just one fraction of that think tank as a weapon against us. And so, like I said, they create the image in your head. It gives a thought. Now that what happens is that thought in the little kid's head or whoever listens to it slows back down to more images, and they start thinking about, hey, somebody that did them wrong. And they saying, I can do what he said in his song because the images in my head. I saw him do it, but they really didn't see him do it, but they really did. It's a whole nother level to it when they hearing the song and playing it back in their head, and then they rapping it. Like, let's get to the point right here. Once it slowed down, the images in their head of, I can do this to somebody else that harmed me or did whatever to me. The same thing that happened to this guy. And so then they start to rap it out loud. So now that thought now has slowed back down from light to sound. And now they telling people, they rapping it out loud, and they telling people, oh, I do this to you. The same thing the dude said in the song. I slap you around. The same thing is, and you usually listen to the paradigm, it's usually the same, around the same lines of what they heard in the rap. I'll slide on you. It's because they make sure they keep a new paradigm going on, because like right now for our youth, the main guy is NBA YoungBoy, for the holders, and it's other guys under that, but he's the main arm that they're using. This and the reason why he's stationed in Utah, because Utah is a key underground location for these guys who's been doing it. They hide out,
And also the prison. Tell them about how this gangster rap, specifically black on black. It ain't black on white. It ain't black on Mexicans. It ain't black on Chinese.
No.
It ain't pro-political like Bob Marley was revolutionary. Right. We're going to run those.
They assassinated Bob Marley because of what he was doing.
Exactly. So music and the prison industrial complex hijacked hip hop. Tell us about it, brother.
Yeah, with the SAG and all that. So really, prison is big business. That's what it is. And what it is the overall scheme of things is that this was your land and they can't export you back to no other country. Like, say, when somebody come over here, right, they got a nationality. So what happens is they if they get in trouble, they can't deal with these court systems being they are national. So they send them back to their own country. They send ISIS in and capture them or whoever and send them back to their country. But they can't send you back to no country because this is your country. You know what I'm saying? So what they do, what they had to do is, since they can't, they create a modern day slavery system and then start building private owned prisons, because they really just like the Federal Reserve. Prisons is just like the Federal Reserve. They just modern day slave camps. And so what they to house us, because they can't expedite us to no other country, because this is our country. So it was pretty much like a warehouse to put enslave us. And so all prisons are privately owned, most of them, for the most part. They are privately owned. And then too, they get when somebody get arrested and go to jail and get a charge, which charge is dealing with power and energy, and it's dealing with money, right? Because they charge your credit card, right? So when they get you up in there and give you the charge, and then you go along with it if you don't know the game, just like the rest of the sheeple, and because all crimes are commercial. So it's all commercial. So they get you up in there, run you through the ringer, and then you plead guilty or whatever you do, and they get you in jail. Once they get you in jail, now for every year that you in jail, the state takes tax dollars from all of their wards, and say it may be $30,000 for one prisoner. So that prison would profit $30,000 a year off of that prisoner in tax dollars just for housing that prisoner. And it don't cost them that much to house that prisoner. And not to mention that they work in the prisoner with internal contracts with major companies, with major outside companies. Say like they'll contract their slaves out to the DMV, and they'll be making license plates for the DMV and they'll be getting paid 10 cents a week or 10 cents a day. Some make less than that, $1 cent a day, right? 1 cent a month. I done heard it's a crazy thing. It's like it'll shock you. That's modern day slavery, because anything below minimum wage is modern day slavery, according to what they teachings, right? So well, it's really slavery, period. And that they can do that because they put a clause in the 14th Amendment. It's a couple more amendments, but 14th Amendment is one, and then they can legalize slavery if you commit a felony or get convicted of a crime. They legalize slavery, but it's different forms of slavery, but that's another form of it. But go back to what I was saying, they get paid $30,000 a month for that prisoner. In some states, it's higher. For some criminals with harsher crimes, they get more money for them. And then, not to mention that, like Angola, my dad did 15 years in Angola. That's the hardest prison in Louisiana. Yeah, 15 for armed robbery. He was on America's Most Wanted for armed robbery.
In Angola?
Angola. He did 15 years.
Wow. That's on a whole nother level.
Yeah, when I was young. Angola is an island it's a whole city within itself, but it's a prison. They grow their own food, they raise their own cattle. And it's alligators that surround the whole place, so ain't no escaping. They'll eat you alive. They train the alligators to eat the people if they try to escape.
Damn.
Yeah, it's the most dangerous prison in Louisiana, and probably like
and that's what they call it, Angola.
Yeah, Angola.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Down in Louisiana, New Orleans, down there, going down
surrounded
south.
by gators,
alligators, real live. And what they do is we go visit them, when they taking you across and they're not locked in no cells, and then they just live on the island because they ain't locked in no cells. They live in dorms on the island because they can't go nowhere. Ain't no escaping it because it's surrounded totally by alligators, and them alligators they ain't gonna waste no time. They waiting out there on the bench. They waiting out there on the shore on the beach just for people to walk up so they can eat them. That they train them to do that. And so how they train them, what they do is they feed these alligators live chickens. And so they even show the prisoners when they driving them up to lock them over there, they'll throw a whole chicken out there, and the alligator, before the chicken even get in the water, 10 alligators jumping up trying to rip them apart. I'm telling you, and some people, and some guys kind of escaped. We got 8. I think it's only one dude that ever escaped, and they still ain't figured out how he got out. But he might have had somebody pick him up in the boat. But they even these alligators so big, they even tear little boats into half. You try to build you a little boat to go or a float or something, they'll tear that in half and eat your behind. Right?
It sounds like a plantation, man.
Man, it's more than a plantation. It's a real psychological camp. It's a real, and like I say, they grow their own food. They raise their own pigs and hogs for they eat good. They eat kind of good and go a little better than other places, state prisons, because they give you burnt. At some state prisons and counties, they give you burnt cornflakes, burnt burritos, watered down everything. This ain't worth $30,000 a year. I'm telling you, everything they give you. Anybody that listening, that been there, they know I'm speaking straight facts. Ain't nothing they give you worth $30,000. Not even the hard mattress they give you, the concrete bed, which is done for a reason, because they know that concrete drains energy. Because if you put a battery on concrete, it drains the battery, right? So that's one thing. But going back to what I was saying, $30,000 a year or more. I done heard 50,000 in some states, like New York, upstate. Like it get higher. It depends on the state and the type of crime that prisoner is being held for. So they getting that 30,000 for each prisoner. Then not only that, they working, like I said, internal contracts through external major companies. So they might make license plates. They might make shoes. I saw one. One was sending people out to work at Wendy's and McDonald's. I said, oh yeah, these people, and they take their people whole check. And then check this out: when the people get out of jail, and they go get that same job at Wendy's that they were working at with the on the work release thing, that Wendy's won't even hire. They'll let them work through the prison, through the work program. But then when they get out of jail and they go there try to say, okay, I was just working up here for 2 years through the work release program, man. You saw I was here every day. I had no choice but to be here, and I need a job now. I'm trying to still do the same thing. I already know everything. I pretty much was running this whole joint when I was doing it. They say, "Oh, we can't hire you because it's a felony on your record." Ain't that funny? Ain't that something? It ain't even funny, really. It ain't even funny, but it's like, come on, man. Come on, the irony in it, man. Like, come on, man. Like you got that happened to a lot of people. So. Not only that, now I say if they grow, so the food that they give them, they probably spending no more than a couple $100 a prisoner a year on the food that they feed them. So that's why it's important. Listen to me, anybody that's listening. If you got any loved ones that are locked up, that's why it's important to send them something if you can, because they can use that for store, and it'll get them, a little bit extra where they can have something to eat. Because if you see the crap that they serve them in there. And I went and investigated all the prisons, but for the most part, when I seen all of what I seen to investigate, most of them, I said that it's most likely all of them on the land is got some similarities to it. So I said I seen what was going on, and I said that this is slavery, and it's worse than slavery because they treat you like a dog. And now it don't matter what your crime is. Once you in there with everybody else, you just like everybody else. It don't matter if you just stole a banana. And they railroaded you for a banana for 6 months or whatever. They do got separate jails for certain types of yards for different, depends on where you at. And then don't go to jail in California. That's a whole different ball. That's a whole nother ball game, because they got cars over there. What cars is different games, and you either with somebody or you getting got. You know what I'm saying? Like, so most people, when they go to jail, they join the Nation of Islam or the Muslim movement if they're peaceful being and I want to be involved in the crazy mess that goes on in jail, being part of a gang involvement, and then they probably can get you more time onto your time being involved with them guys. So most guys go. That's why you see a Tyson when he go to jail, he come out to be a Muslim. All these guys, they come out when they get out of jail, they be Muslims, and some people stick with it, and some people say, "Oh yeah, well I just did that while I was in jail," because the Muslims got a tight little organization where you don't gotta be doing nothing crazy. All you gotta do is just take your salat, do your prayers, just keep your nose clean, and you probably could do your time and get out early. Because my brother got out early like that. I told my brother to do that same strategy. Join the Nation of Islam, and when you get up in there, we don't got to get involved with no gangs. And then you're gonna have to do your prayers and all that. But it's really, Islam is a good school. It's a good school for discipline. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a good school for discipline. So because they help you once you're praying every day, it's gonna keep your brain not idle to where the devil trying to tempt, where this bad negative energy trying to tempt you. And then not only that, it's gonna keep you on point, and it's gonna make your brain more sharper to where you ain't gonna have all those drugs and everything else fly in your brain. You're gonna be more sharper with Islam. And my brother got out now, and he the manager now. He taking care of everything is good. He doing everything good. Like he a whole different person since he got Islam. And Elijah Muhammad was trying to get that over. That's why Elijah Muhammad was important. You know what I'm saying? And what he was doing. Even though a lot of people don't like some of the Nation of Islam perspectives, but as far as raising the community and straightening guys up, and having them straight up stand up guys, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a mastermind in it.
Special acknowledgement to Temple Number 7 in Harlem, and
right.
Brother Joe that got the bean pies on 127 and Malcolm X Boulevard. I think it's Malcolm X Boulevard. He got the best bean squash and bean pies right there on the corner. Y'all can go up there and get it when you go into Harlem. I just was there, young elder, last week. I ate two squash pies right in front of Brother Joe, and then I carried the bean pie onto the subway. It never got to Brooklyn. It was just so delicious.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, that's fine. Them bean pies pretty good. Especially they got man, I'm telling you. They'd be surprised. I was surprised how good a bean pie was. I didn't think a bean pie could be that good. But
and white Navy beans at that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they good. And it's like, the Nation of Islam. But like I say, I want to talk about the Nation of Islam too, because that's important. The message to the black man by Elijah Muhammad. I got that book. I got pretty much all the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's book, except for a couple of them. That was cost like an arm and a leg, like the secret relationship between Jews and us, right? So I want them books right there. Volume 1, Volume 2. That's ones I'm missing. But the thing, another thing about the prisons, like I say, in Angola, and it's like I think it was a couple other prisons, they grow their own food, so they jail don't gotta buy food.
Wow, so they have low overhead.
Yeah, low overhead. That's right. The prison is self-sustaining in Angola. That's right. They got their own pigs, their own cows. They got 4-wheelers. The prisoners ride 4-wheelers around on this place.
Imagine if we had black communities that were surrounded by gators.
We did. That island was ancient. It was an ancient that Alcatraz is. Angola is an ancient castle of Moabites, ancient Moabites. The Washita that was down there. It was a land that the Empress state. It was the Empress land that she had surrounded by alligators.
Imagine if Black Wall Street was surrounded by gators and a big pond with a gate lift. It would be a different story. And you know what else, young elder? I always wondered, like, what if the brothers of Black Wall Street and the Black townships was to dig underground cities instead of being on the surface where the savages, the Neanderthal.
That's right. And here's the thing. Those cities are already done now. Though they was already dug already. Hey, the Brooklyn Bridge, it's got a tunnel that goes inside of one of those. It's like one of those columns on the Brooklyn Bridge. They found out just recently. You go look this up. They found out that it's a hidden tunnel under that Brooklyn Bridge. under the Brooklyn Bridge.
Wow.
And you go look this up. Like I ain't making this. You go look this up if you're from New York, and a lot of people that's from Brooklyn know about this now because it came out. But they're really keeping it on the wraps. They said that they built the Brooklyn Bridge and they gave us a year, right? And they had to, but then they still going and finding new compartments on the Brooklyn Bridge. So how did they build the Brooklyn Bridge? And then the same thing with the Yankee Stadium, how it got an underground tunnels in the Yankee Stadium. They saying that they took them some amount of 1 year, 130 some days to build a Yankee Stadium. And we did the mathematics, and the mathematics don't add up. That would mean that the Yankee Stadium had to already be there prior to the colonizers.
And you know what? The armories in New York City, they all connected by underground tunnels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's an armory on Atlantic Avenue and Bedford. There's another armory over here, Major Owens, Bedford Avenue and Union. But all of them have underground tunnels connecting because that's how they dealt with the revolution. According to history, that's how they would stay able to go from one armory to another while they was trying to deal with the British.
Right.
We got to start thinking going into the earth, man.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, going down into the earth, like I say, they call that going on the other side of the ice wall. Well, that's going into the center of Earth. But then you got going inside of Earth. You got advanced cave systems that were dug out a long time ago, maybe billions of years ago, by these beings called the Nagas. They were upright reptilian dinosaur-looking beings. And
they're still alive, man.
Yeah,
I met some.
That's right.
I met some Hawaiians on the outer island, and they said the reptilians are technologically superior to us, and they live inside the island.
That's right. Yep. That's right. That's right. Those are the that's just one particular species. It's several species, but that one that dug the tunnel system is the Naga species that were here. And they dug advanced tunnel systems to go miles, 700 and some miles of tunnels and mazes.
Yeah.
You could get lost under there and never be able to find your way out. And then a lot of people go down there trying to find the entrance to these people tunnels. Some of them find it and they don't make it back out because they get eaten. They don't make it back out because they can't find their way out. It's like pitch black dark down there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like unless you go down there with your third eye on, you can see. And then that's a different story because it's a whole nother. The Earth it's more than one Earth right here that exists. It's other Earths and higher bandwidths. Some people call it dimensions, some people call it other things, but the new term that I'm calling that, since people don't like dimension because they say, oh, it's only 3 dimensions, but the bandwidths, it's another bandwidth of Earth, and these beings operate on this bandwidth. And you can see them every now and then at the corner of your eye in your house or somewhere. It's only because they're moving through your vortex. They moving through your time frame, but you only can see like they look smoky of like dark, shadowy looking. And when time you look over there, it's already gone because they moving on another time frame. Because I saw you had call this time. I want to talk about time too. Time is interesting because a lot of people say time don't exist, but I don't disagree with nobody because I take in perspectives, but like this, I say time do exist, and the time just exists on different scales. Like here right now, if you just based on simple common sense mathematics, on Earth they say 365 days for a year, but then if you go out to Mars, being that it's a little bit farther out from the sun, because the Earth is 93 billion miles. Takes about 8 minutes and some change for the sunlight to reach Earth. But then if you go out to Mars is like 480 days for 1 year. So their time frame is different based on the distance from their sun. So and then for you to say if time didn't exist, we wouldn't be able to talk about it. If time didn't exist, you wouldn't even, how can you talk about something that don't exist? You couldn't even you couldn't even describe it because it don't exist. You can't even describe. That's why unicorns, everything they can describe to you had to be existing. Why? Because there's no, what people are calling real is REEL and REAL. REEL is real, going back to the sound, light, thought, speeding up the thought, because real is like a film. And then a light shoots through the film and projects that thought or that images onto a screen. So that means that that's real. And so what are you determining real? Like Morpheus said, like, are you talking about electromagnetic signals interpreted by the brain? So electromagnetic signals is real because why? Because it's light going into the eyes. The eyes convert you got a converter, like that. Look, you got like a little device inside of your brain that's the same thing as it's another form of it inside of a camera, but you call it the pineal gland. That pineal gland translate that light into a liquid form called melatonin. But going on another flip side, that image that goes into your brain is converted into the images. It's converted into the images, and then after that, right, it's converted into it's conceptualized into a thought pattern, into a thought wave, and that wave can be set out, or that wave can be brought back in, just like the operation of the sun, because all of y'all are suns, all of y'all are light beings, and the sun, how the sun operates, if it give off hydrogen, and then that hydrogen burns off to create helium, then that helium is grabbed back down and sped back up when it get back to the core. When it's pulled, when that helium is pulled back down to the sun's core, is reactivated into and sped back up to hydrogen, because it's dealing with the speeding up and slowing down of atoms. And then when you talk about atomic numbers, so so in order to turn helium into hydrogen, you have to just slow it down or reduce it to 2 points or 2 electrons, and boom, you take it back down to hydrogen. So that's alchemy right there. They do that with gold, where they take lead, speed it up, slow the vibration down real fast, and then turn it into gold. That's alchemy, right? I know an old man that know how to do it, but he never would teach me how to do it, because he said that if I knew how to do it, I get killed. So maybe he was helping me, right? He was doing it, right? Turning into gold, he was doing it, and I saw him do it. And I know what he used. I watched him do it, but I couldn't tell you whatever that solution was that he had. Then when he rubbed it on to the other metal, and then he hooked the jumper cables up to it. When he did that started turning gold. I said, "Oh man, this dude right here, alchemist." I'll tell you, I met some alchemists, man. I'm telling you, and look, that's another thing, man. I might be going all over the place, but in prison, you probably agree with this. In prison, that's why one of the things about prison is some of our high power alchemists is locked in prison. It's guys in there that can draw you down to the bump on your face, man. Talking about to the bump on your face. They making wine in jail. They make all kind of apparatuses to to entertain themselves. Like they make tattoo guns out of nothing. Like I saw a dude that was making a whole clothing line out of prison sheets. You know what I'm saying? Like and
Wow.
Nubian brothers making a whole clothing line out of prison sheets, and they stopped the brother after a couple months, but the brother was going viral because I think it was because he was going viral on Instagram or one of those websites, and then that's what brought attention to the brother, right? But the brother started a whole clothing line in jail making clothes out of prison sheets. So our number one high power alchemists have been locked up. It's because they've been targeted in a way that they don't even realize. And like I said, it goes back to the music of what the picture that they paint for us. And a lot of times the picture that they paint for us now ain't the picture that we really in. It's mostly the people that's listening to it that's doing what they saying doing. It's not we in the 60s, we wasn't gunning each other down like that. And then a brother back then in the 60s, a brother barely had no Uzi and then like the brother had a 38 special maybe and a shotgun. But most brothers ever had, a shotgun and a revolver. Now, what happens is with Puddin them. I don't know if you know about OG Puddin. He's one of the founders of the Pyrus from California. They started with the CIA and the Rick Ross and them. They was selling dope, and then through the CIA and the I don't want to say too much because I don't want to mess up the algorithm, but they was getting guns too through the same people. like guns that Nubians weren't used to having, like Uzis. Man, so this dude got an Uzi, right? And then you got a 350, you got a 38. So how you gonna fight this guy, man? This guy got an M16, a military equipment getting dropped off to these guys that's selling these drugs for the because they got to protect the drugs from other gangs. So the CIA give them guns to protect the drugs. It's simple. And then so the OG, the Pirus, that's how they got real big, is because, and Piru actually goes back to demon, and then it actually translated over here on the land as a certain type of a tribal symbol, right? But in the old folktale, but these guys were paid to get rid of the Black Panthers. The Piru leader, OG Puddin, his name is you got Vincent Owens, then you got Sylvester. That's his name, I think. And they call him OG Puddin, but he was getting paid and doing pump drugs into California and pump guns onto the streets. And he had a lot of kills, and he never got arrested because he was working. And they made a series about it with Rick Ross called I'll think of it in a minute, but Rick Ross and the dude that played his uncle. That's the storyline. They took that storyline of the OG Puddin. But what happens is, I'm making a point here, is that once these guys was able to get them type of weapons, now just imagine being in a beef with a guy like that. You out there chilling, this guy walk around with an Uzi. He got there, he ain't. Most brothers ain't. Well, a lot of brothers get better at it. Brothers that gun, where. But most brothers holding their gun sideways, they spraying it, like that. They ain't really aiming at nobody. And then that's when the drive-by, the CIA implemented the drive-by operation, where now they just pull up and spray, and it don't matter who they hit, as long as we gave it send a message. And then end up little kids getting hit that don't even got nothing to do with it, that ain't even had a chance to even, have a life. They get hit, and the guy that they shooting at didn't even get hit half the time. So it's like that was an operation within itself called Operation Crash that was set up by COINTELPRO operations. And then you got Operation Colors, Operation Gangbang, all these different operations that they had working in the background and against us. And so that's another, and so that generated, once they were able to get them drugs going and the guns, that simulated the killing. And then with the music, because at the same time, you got to think about it, around the same time, that's when the NWA was coming out. You're talking about 73 to 79, 71, really they had it. They really had crack cocaine came out in 1920. Don't believe me? Go look up. They were smoking crack in Poland in the 1920s. Hitler is the one that introduced the crack cocaine, the Nazis. And the America got it in Project Paperclip in 1945, but they didn't. They just had to quit. They had the what they call freebasing equipment, and they didn't know what it was really. But until they saw somebody playing with it, they said, "Well, what's that? Oh, that's freebase." And then they still didn't know what it was because they didn't have a market for it. And then they said, "We got to study this. We're gonna send it to a guy in at UCLA in California, and we're gonna run a couple of tests." So they ran all these tests, but Hitler was already doing it with the Nazis with the so-called, those people, because you got to say those people that if you say a name, they out to you, right? It's like they out to me. They demonetize my page today, but it's like this. But those people came over here, and what was I going with the NBA, with the NWA? Those people, once they got the formula in UCLA, they ran tests with this called the monkey trials. You can go look this up. It's called the monkey trials, where they tested the crack on the monkeys, and they saw the results that the monkey would rather smoke crack than chill with his family. The monkey would be, if the monkey didn't get it, they saw the side effects of how he responded to it, down withdrawals, all that. They saw that he would rather smoke crack than eat food. They saw all of this, and they said that we can weaponize this, and we got a market for it, because they really didn't have a market on us really in coke. They really was a white man's drug. It was high dollar, man. Back in Miami, it cost a whole bunch for 1 gram of that crap. But what happens is is once they saw finally got the free base, they said we can use this and we got a market for it. And they used it to fund different wars through the CIA, but they pumped it on California first in the 81, the Reagan era, where the rich get richer and the poor get poor, just like Nino Brown, who is Wesley Snipes, played it in the movie New Jack City. It's the Reagan era, man. Crack rock, the crack rock, right? So that was a whole game within itself to set us back 40 years. And how would they spread it? With Operation Colors, Operation Gangbang, which is when instead of locking the gangbanger up, that's a high-ranking leader, send them to another state. And send them when you go to that other state. They did this to Tookie Williams, they did this to Big U, all of them. When they got in trouble, they sent them to another state. Like Tookie got sent back to Louisiana down here because Tookie Williams is my cousin. I'm a Williams, right? He's right here from Shreveport, right? Where he live from Monroe. Monroe is like about like an hour or two away, like 30 minutes, really. But it's like right here. We like right here. My whole family. My granddaddy actually owned 1,000 acres in Monroe, right? And then that's where the Empress is from, Empress Vidisi from the Washita Nation. Right, that's where she from, and they actually gave her a whole city to keep her quiet. But that's a whole nother story, right? A whole landmass to shut her up because of what's going on here. But that from that they started Operation Colors, and what they were sent, like I said, they would send these head gangbangers to different locations, different cities where they got family members there, somebody that will look out them, and you like they sent Big U to Chicago. Now, being that he's a known gangbanger affiliated, and they really with this Crippin or whatever they was with, Big U rolling 60. He when he got to Chicago, he started another rolling 60 gang out there. So that's how, and they did this. Tookie Williams came back to Louisiana and started a Crip gang in Louisiana, right? In the because Tookie Williams went to Angola. He was at Angola doing some of his prison sentence. So he brought that gang banging back down there, so they were getting to spread it, but that wasn't good enough. That wasn't good. It wasn't spreading fast enough because they needed a market for the crack. They needed a market for the crack rock, so they wasn't spreading, setting up the market fast enough because they were going to use the gangs, the red and the blue, same colors that they got in their flag. Besides the white man gonna be the one that's supplying the white, and then the red and blue gonna sell it, right? That's the Crips and the Bloods, and so. What they did is they said it ain't good enough. So CIA had a more brilliant plan. They said we can use our propaganda machine. Another name for their propaganda machine is Hollywood. They said we're going to use Hollywood. We're going to create this movie called Colors. And we got this guy on payroll who's one of our agents named Ice-T. And because that's why you see Ice-T playing in all the movies here, police. Right, because he's police. And he came out with colors, CIA colors. You don't know me, fool. You just saw me, cool. They looking at each other, and somebody look at you, y'all fighting just for no reason. That sounds like some maniac crap. You looking at each other, and you just start fighting, right? So that was part of the propaganda machine to set up the market strategy to the system for the free base, and it was going to be off the backs of so-called blacks, because we already know from my Moors that's listening, they already know what time it is with the Moor social paradigm, right? But yeah, so that was part of it. That was another part of it against us, and it plays into the music because NWA, if you listen to the songs that they came out with, it was Dope Man. It was all stimulated around the crack era. Dope Man. What it says, JD, my main man JD was on free base. The boy broke in my car and tried to steal an Alpine, and then he blew him away with a 12 gauge, and then he was on the news the next day. That's what the lyrics say. So it gives you an image when I listen to that, the Cruising Down the Street by Eazy-E, when I listen to that, I get an image. That's like a movie. He rapping a movie to me. I can see it all what he's saying. And then I think not only that, they put him on TV. They pay him millions of dollars. They gave him all kind of chains. They praise him. They lift him up in our sight. So I say, man, I want to do exactly what he doing. I want to be just like him. It's called idol worship, right? The devil used this, right? And like I say, we can get into what the devil is too. The devil is just whatever is your adversary. Anything that's against you as your wellness and your well-being, it becomes the devil. It don't matter what it is, who it is, what form it come in. If it's against you, whether if it's a disease, a person, whatever, that's the devil, right? That's what my definition of the devil is, right? So I want to make that clear. But these beings,
My brother, I want to thank you for being on this platform. You are a natural griot.
Okay, thank you, man.
So, family, you gotta make sure you like, subscribe, share, because the last time I had a griot on was Brother Panic.
Mm-hmm.
You a natural griot, so I ain't gonna interrupt you no more. Let it flow, brother.
Yeah, so yeah, that's right. Like I was saying, NWA was and it used to be the ancestors talking. A lot of times I had to go back and listen to a lot of the stuff. But
go ahead, do your thing, bro.
They say what was where we go, right? So, but the NWA thing, if you notice, listen to that type of music, the images that you got were and then not only that, it's a psychological thing that we in this predicament were crack being sold and people are stealing people's radios and they're breaking and stealing from their mother's purse, and it's like it puts you in a horror. It puts you in a horror because in order to control people, you got to keep them terrorized. You got to terrorize them and keep them in fear. That way they're easy to control. So that's their whole game. That's their whole overall, because they feed off of fear. So they got it. So in order to generate that, they got to keep that going. That or else they starve out like the parasites they are, right? I'm telling you, they starve out. So they want to keep us against each other because they can't fight against us. They don't got enough power to fight against us, but we have enough power to fight against ourselves. So what they did is they started, like I say, they had to create that market for the crack. And so the music was a part of it. The CIA are on the industry, and they call it hip hop police in the industry. Ask a lot of people about them. That's how a lot of these artists, when they go to New York, especially New York with the gun laws, that's how they get they catch these people up, because they follow them everywhere they go. Once you're a Nubian and you got over $1 million, you're automatically being watched 24 hours a day. They used to follow you actually with an actual tail. But now, since they got all the technology now and the satellites, they really can pretty much sit at the laptop and they underground, whatever they hit, and then watch you, right? With the phones, everything. And now they don't need to got to follow you just behind, trail you like they used to do back in the 60s when they was doing Malcolm X, right? They had to trail Malcolm X, they had to fly over there with him to Egypt and watch him on binoculars and shit. Yeah, they had to go all through the works. They had to spend more money and time and effort back then with they methods of trying to stop us and stop the rise of a Nubian Messiah. They had to do that, right? So, like I say, that if you listen to NWA, how they made them millions of dollars, Eazy-E, and they ended up getting rid of him because he was finna buck the system. They invited this brother to the White House. Eazy-E got invited to the White House, right? And so just like they invited James Brown to the White House, and then he come back with Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, which is part of the social paradigm game to keep us in this state of death, state of sleep, right? So James Brown was Asian, but like I said, I love his music. His music is soul. He one of us still. I ain't gonna never take nothing from James Brown was the baddest man in the music business, and let me tell you that he was the baddest man, and he was badder than anybody I know as far as the music business, the business side of the music. He's the baddest man ever. And I think Michael Jackson learned from him. That's probably what got him took out. I'm gonna tell you what let me tell you how bad James Brown was on the music business. James Brown had his own studio. He had several studios. He had his own studio. He had his own printing press where he could print up his own wax, because back then they was putting it on wax, right? The record players. He could print up his own wax, and then not only that, let me do you one, because this will explain why James Brown was one of the only Negroes back then that had a airplane. One of the Negro artists had an airplane, had his own airplane. They got to ride on a bus. All his drama and everybody ride on a bus. He flying on an airplane with the girls. Man, James Brown, bad man. right? But he ended up he had not only did he print his own stuff, record his own stuff, he had his own radio station. You don't know how powerful that is. He had his own radio station, so he had all three components. He was his own distributor. He had his all three components. That means he can record a song right now, finish it, max it down, put it on wax, and then have it playing the next 2 hour or so on his radio station. That's how bad James Brown was. And then not only that, James Brown had another idea. And because we're talking about music, we're talking about time, and music is dealing with timing, because it's dealing with rhythm. Timing is a rhythm, right? And so James Brown, at first, because you got gospel, we had all these. At first, we were just gospels, and then if you notice, all these every single genre really is born from an old gospel. Besides, like even jazz, right? A lot of the old gospel was really all these music genres, these new ones, they were birthed out of this one thing. And I'm gonna tell you how. James Brown created a new genre, and what he did is he saw that everybody was going on the 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the normal beat pattern for most music, unless you get into the classic. They don't even got a beat pattern in music, in classic music. They don't got a drum. That's how you know that music is good music, but that drum, we as Nubians, that drum is a serious thing for us as far as our soul and everything go. But James Brown, instead of the 1, 2, 3, 4, what he would do is they say, instead of giving me 1, 2, 3, 4, give me 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, boom. So they made his music get more of a hip, like a boom, 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 boom. Like every couple of seconds, it's jumping off. People like, man, what's this? They didn't know what it was at first, and then boy, once James Brown come out singing on over it and saying I'm super bad, all this right here, boy, that they like, oh man, what's this? This is some soul bad shit right here. This is some bad Mama Jamma stuff right here, man. They couldn't handle James Brown. James Brown was a bad man, so he came out with a whole nother. He really was the first rapper. He really created the first step to rap. And then the Curtis Mayfield came. He kind of put it more of a. Curtis Mayfield really was rapping about dope back then. The Pusher Man. He was saying Pusher Man, Superfly. Because you got to keep in mind, during that time in the 70s, it was more, instead of rap, because rap wasn't really out there, it was more of a pimping. Pimping were more of the celebrities and the rappers then. But even though they ain't rap, they did rap though. They call it the gift for gab, right? They rap to a girl and get her to work for them. That's a rap, right? And then they wrap them up like a mommy, and then they did, right? Because once you go working for a pimp and you're a sister, and if you ain't, you know what I'm saying, that ain't your thing, you wrapped up like a mommy. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally dead after that, right? But yeah, but the during the 70s, the pimps were the celebrities. Like when you seen a pimp, and like I remember, because I wasn't really living that long enough, but I can imagine it. And I watched all the movies, like Matt. I watched all the movies. I watched all old movies, right? So I can imagine that when a young guy up and coming, before, when there was like stuff like Curtis Mayfield playing in the background, James Brown, I'll pay the cost to be the boss, all this other stuff going on. And then you see a brother come down in a clean Cadillac when brothers couldn't afford nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? A brother with a clean Cadillac with some white walls. He got the diamond in the back, like Curtis said, right? Or he got a nice Lincoln when they had them Lincolns. And then if a brother come through, man, don't let a brother come through like the bishop now, the archbishop. That brother had a Rolls Royce. Like some brothers, these brothers that was really out there with getting down in the game, they really had Rolls Royces, man, and they have it painted with their color coat. That was a whole nother game. So when the young people seen them, they would say, man, I want to be just like that. He got all the girls. He got diamonds on. He hopping out. He talking slick than a can of oil, right? Talking slicker than a can of oil. And man, that was the celebrities to them in the 70s. And then the rap, then when rap came out, all the rappers did is took the pimp persona and then put the lyrics behind it. So the pimps already was wearing the chains, the flashy, the being flashy. That's what it's being pimp about. It's about flash. So if you notice, that's why all these a lot of rappers like J. Cole, he ain't like that. Jay, it's like a Changes Lamar. He kind of do a little thing, but he ain't really he more of an antique type of a guy, but like that flashiness come from the pimping era. That's before NWA, but that's why I say leading up to NWA, that's why they get the chains. And then what NWA was a combination of several different things. Let me tell you, it was a combination of that pimping era that I told you, but then it was also a combination of the Black Panthers, because you notice the NWA wore all black. The Black Panthers wore all black with combat boots, and they wore the army hat, Black Army hat, etc. They dressed more militant, but all black. So if you notice that it was incorporated into NWA, they wore all black. They wore the black shades like the NWA. I mean, like the Black Panthers. So it's like you can see, if you look at history and then look at the transitions, you'll see what stemmed out of what. Because the Crips and Bloods really stemmed out of the Black Panthers, because people look down on the Bloods and Crips because it have been demonetized. So I say that demonetized, meaning that they thinking that what they doing is the gang banging, and that wasn't really gang banging. Gang banging really was what the Black Panthers was doing. It's like community respiration. And then it was protect. It really was about police brutality. And because when we migrated from the South due to Jim Crows and etc., and some people was going back to their home, because the war pretty much we had made treaties with these people, and the war was over, so they just went home, right? From going to war, right, down with the French down in Louisiana and the Spaniards in Florida, and against the United States courts up in all of the East Coast, right? So people going back home. That's really, they tell us the Great Migration though. But in California during this time, it was real racism, and the cops used to beat Nubians. They had curfews where they caught you crossing and then they had county lines, or these lines where if you cross this line, you caught on this side, you get beat because this is white folks side or whatever. That area, right? And so that went on a lot. Well, old people and little kids were getting beat, and it got out of hand. So they created all the little small groups, little gangs, to combat and protect their neighborhoods. That's what it started out at first, and it stems from the Black Panthers, the US movement, several other movements. So it stemmed from all those movements. And leading up to Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King's in the 60s, right? Because we're going to talk about King. I think King was an honest brother, and he was doing what he thought was right. And then once he found out that they was hustling us, he tried to kind of like subliminally parable like say it, you know what I'm saying? And they said, oh yeah, well he broke the oath. If you notice, everybody that they take out, they got to deal with them prior. They got a Masonic deal with them. Most of the people they take out, and when you break the oath, that's they got different modes of getting rid of you, but it's they sign a oath when they go in there, a contract that says if they break any of the contract, these penalties can happen to them. So when they get in and join, and they get all of this wealth for the people that's at the top, because a lot of our brothers in the Prince of Halls, they don't even have a clue what's going on. A lot of brothers, they're thinking they're getting out of tickets and doing some good brothers, and most of the time that be the case. But it's more to it than that. Masonry is way more to it than it. It goes back. It's like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad put a book out called Mother and Son, the Science of Freemasonry, and he talks about how his mother and son is dealing with the Black Madonna and all that. Yeah, so I can get into that. I ain't gonna go too much into detail, because when you start talking and telling too much of the Masons, I can tell you all of what I can tell you, but it's like when you start, and I ain't no Mason by their definition, because in order to be a Mason, you got to go and be in a regulated approved lodge with a certain amount of Masons, and and to be recognized and legitimized by them to be free and accepted. But that's not how we did it. And then like I say, a lot of the rituals they doing, it's not even the original rituals they doing. For the Nubian brothers that's listening, that's Prince of Halls, and they can argue with me, but you can go to my page and go to it's a playlist I got called the Science of Freemasonry, or the School of Freemasonry. with classes that I put out in that playlist. And I talk about the sign, and I shout out Dr. Ben, because Dr. Ben, I learned a lot from Dr. Ben about the origin of Freemasonry. RP to Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark, right? Dr. Ben, they stole it from us pretty much, to sum it up. And Albert Pike is a big pivot part in them. Albert Pike, it's like 3 or 4 guys. Well, Albert Pike is one, and another guy is Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley is a whole nother side. Aleister Crowley is the one that brought all of the sick rituals in the alchemy. Oh yeah. Hey, everybody hit that like. Everybody hit that like, hit that subscribe button right now. But Aleister Crowley is the one that brought all the sex magic and extra rituals into the Masonic orders. See, if originally it's only 3 degrees, there's only 3 degrees. Everything else is honorary studies. It's originally only 3 degrees. Everything else is honorary studies. But what Albert Pike now and Madame Blavatsky and your boy Aleister Crowley, they created all of these rituals and all these new things. And if once you get up so high, you figure out, hey, this kind of homo, or this is kind of weird. Like, we ain't do this, so having this stuff. It sounds like somebody just came up with some on top of his head, these rituals. It don't sound like this. And then you look at the meaning behind them, and then you find out, hey, well, it was Aleister Crowley that added the 32nd and 33rd, the rituals, like the short and curly. For you people that have been through that level, 32nd degrees, the short and curly is one of the rituals. And I ain't got to get into detail of what that is, but it's definitely homo and homophiliac. And they do similar things in the Skull and Bones, where they sleep in the casket all night and, do weird things to themselves. And then you got the boule part of that, which is the black boule. That's the opposite part of the Skull and Bones. But that breaks down that's a whole system in the operation that's going on against us here at Turtle Island. But the main purpose of this, all these different systems that operating against us, with them starting and hijacking our culture. They hijacked our culture because rap is ours. All these different genres is ours. Gospel. If you go, man, look, the gospel, all the gospel that's being sung is ours. But then you go to their church, they singing like, and they playing bagpipe organs and shit. Yeah, like that ain't no gospel. You know what I'm saying? That's some weird. That's some, it's cool, but it's like that's sound like some horror film music that they doing up in there. That ain't no gospel. We started gospel. People like Patti LaBelle and Aretha Franklin. All these people go back. We started gospel and put the spin on it. And then, like I said, that spawned into other things. But like Curtis Mayfield, if for because they call me the young elder, right? So but like all the old school guys, Curtis Mayfield is one of the another key pivot points in formulating rap. And because you remember when they first came out with the hip hop, it was just Busy Bee and them guys, and they really was just hype, man. They really just was going hip hop, you know what I'm saying, doing chants, and like Flavor Flav and them. Shout out to Public Enemy. Them brothers was really putting out some real positive movement type of stuff. Like pretty much everybody in that era, like that came in the first hip hop era, but it didn't go bad until the CIA hijacked it. See, that's the whole big game about it. That's why Professor Griff is important. Professor Griff will break all this down for you. The CIA hijacked hip hop after all them brothers, after the Public Enemy and all that. They hijacked hip hop with NWA, but because they needed a market for the crack. I'm trying to tell you, man, people think I'm crazy. They needed that market for that crack, and so they play Easy E on everywhere. He was doing the 100 shows a day. That's about, I'm telling you, he was everywhere. And what he promote? Dope, crack, selling crack, dope, man. And then you see how much chains I got on? You see this big old gold chain I got on? I got this for selling crack, man. How cold is that? How psychological is that? Because it was the pimps, like I say, it was the pimps creating the psychological paradigm for us in the 70s, in the late 60s. Because we saw them with the chain, saw them with the girls, saw them with the money, saw them with the car. and you like, man, I want to be like that. I want to have a girl to call, right? So it's like that type of thing. But then when they come along, Easy E come along, he's saying, man, I'm selling hard crack. Not only that, I steal cars. Because he talking about Grand Theft Auto in that tape. Stealing. Oh, he said that he said a boy stole a car in the El Camino, and he said that it's all about making that GTA. That's Grand Theft Auto. So he was promoting stealing cars, and then I bet you right after he put that song out, and it went we're citywide or countrywide, the car stealing rate went up. Of people smoking crack and stealing cars, the rate went up on crime on stealing cars right when he put that out, because it's all part of a propaganda machine and a psychological warfare against us, keep us distracted until they can keep us long enough, because they got our state. That's what it is. They got our state, so they got to keep us distracted, keep us entertained long as they can, until because if we wake up and say, hold on, wait a minute, this ain't no money. This some fiat. Where our money? Hey, where our money at? Who we need to talk to about our money? Somebody need to run our money, man. Like, this ain't no money. This is some stuff. A note. What's that? A note is something it's like if I write on a note and say I owe you and give it to you. That's what they serving us. They ain't serving us no money. So it's like this. It's like this, man. As a people, once we become more intelligent, we got to become more smarter to realize all the paradigms and the tactics and be able to just pick them out. Like recently when they came out with the Charlie Kirk thing, everybody was on them. Everybody was saying, man, this is it was calling out everything about it, because we're in a different day and time now. The cops, you better be lucky they got cameras, because the cops were beating the crap out of people. They didn't even have cameras in the 60s when the Black Panthers was coming around. Just imagine what they went through. They didn't even have cameras, man. Cop beat the crap out of them and dropped them off in the Mexican neighborhood. Beat the brakes off of them when he can't even where to get dropped off. They couldn't even walk. And like I said, that stimulated the gangs. So gangs wasn't about selling dope. It was by protecting your loved ones in your community and just being in your community. It was more about a community thing, and we was good on that. Because I remember people telling me, my grandma used to tell me, and my auntie and them used to tell me that back in the day, if you got in trouble in your neighborhood, right, that not only would you get a whipping by the person that, because everybody watching everybody, not only you get a whipping by the person that you did the trouble at their house, they'll whoop your behind. And then they gonna call your daddy now. They call your daddy and mama them and tell them, son so down here with acting fool, he threw a rock through my window out here playing, throwing a rock. Now I gotta get that. Now your dad them gonna be mad, because back then everything was tight. They ain't want to pay no money to get that window fixed, because everything tight. They already on a tight thing, right? Like, you just cost them extra money. They off work, they tired, they gotta hear about you throwing a rock to somebody. You gonna get your behind tore up again when they make it home. So it was more of a, like, that's why we was like we was more family. It was more family back then. And then they just slowly started, they had to create a method of control. And so in order to break the families up, what they did is they said the CIA came out with another program called Operation Rabbit. And Operation Rabbit is dealing around a thing called sitcoms. Right, and they want, and if it's hypnosis, right? If you want somebody to hypnotize somebody, all you gotta do is sit them down and let them sit calm, and then you wiggle the little, they wig the, watch back and forth. You're getting sleepy. That's what sitcoms is. So in the sitcom, like Martin Lawrence or Fresh Prince, they had these different sitcoms. They show Martin and Gina breaking up. They show racial bias. I'm gonna tell you how they do that. It's Pam, and Pam, if you see it in real life, she actually way finer than Gina. Gina actually had no ass at all. She suffered from a thing called no ass at all. Right? I'll tell you in real life, right? And Pam was thick and fine on the low though, like she really was the fine one. But in the sitcom, as they run their hypnosis program on you, the CIA Operation Rabbit, they make Martin, because the Jewish guys is really writing these things, right? For these guys to say, they make Martin beat down the darker chick, the more Nubian sister that's connected. And then because Gina is more of a mix, she a mulatto kind of, if you want to get into it, right? But she's still a Nubian, right? But just for sake of conversation, they would amplify Martin's Martin is just a psychological man. It's just so bad. It's just so bad. All the stuff they got going on in it. The one part is he sabotaged calling her a horse, buckshots. You know, he got different jokes that he make about Pam, right? To beat her down, and then he praised the lighter person. And that's why during that time, light-skinned women was in. People were going, more dudes was going for light-skinned women because that paradigm was one of the paradigms. Then not only that, they feminized the black male by making Martin dress up in the dress. That's part of the ritual, and it's part of the rules that they got set up in the people that's writing this. It goes against their very own saying in they books where it says that a man shall not put on a woman's clothes. But so in order to get down with them and make these deals with them, they make you humiliate yourself. And so that's another psychological. Now just think about a young black boy seeing Martin dressed like Shanae. And then next thing you know, you see this boy getting up, putting his mama's shoes on. And then you wonder, why is this happening? Because they've been setting us up for it the whole time. They've been programming us for it the whole time. With the sitcoms. Sitcom. If you sit calm, I can hypnotize you. You see what I'm saying? And then they come out with things like living single. Living single. Look for this is the name of it. Because we weren't living single. Man, my grandma and them was together no matter what. I think my granddad even had another child. They still was together. If families didn't break up like that, it wasn't no single. It wasn't no what you doing.
But I never seen Arnold Schwarzenegger. I never seen Stallone in no damn dress.
That's right. That's right. You don't see them in no dress.
So that's why Dick Gregory say question everything. That's
right. It's part of the game. It's part of a psychological warfare against us as Nubians to show Martin dressed in that dress. And then me as a kid watching it, and me and Dad, I had a hard upbringing, so it was like it was already shown in my family. Like, we ain't wearing no dress. They get crazy, right? That's how we looked at it. But if not for a kid that ain't got that type of defense mechanism, like my dad was a hard type of dude. So for a kid that ain't got that dad that father that has a defense mechanism to say, hey, that's that ain't what we do, right? Because like some boys be having their hands bent, and then my boys when they were younger, I used to pop their hand, say, hold your hand like a man, right? I tell them like that. Then until they don't do it no more, right? But you got to tell them because they got all these videos, everything, all these people, they promote that. And then not only that, they took it as after they saw that the sitcoms weren't working no more, and they ran out of all of the episodes, because that's what an episode is. Episodes is a part of the psychological warfare. Once they ran out of so many, they had to start running reruns. And then once they
tried to have Bernie Mac, they tried to put a little boy in Bernie Mac's lap.
Right. And Bernie Mac said, hell no, come on now. He got it, you know what I'm saying? Bernie Mac wasn't going for it, right? Because Bernie Mac a real one. That's why he got rid of him, right? He was a real one. He was the one that, hey, man, he cut from that cloth that I'm telling you about, that 70s, 60s cloth. The cloth where we were more tight-knitted. Like as we ain't, it's certain things that we ain't do. Like you ain't even seen no gay dudes was scared to come out and say they was gay. Like
they was trying to put Dave Chappelle in a dress.
Right. Dave Chappelle ended up getting in the dress though, I think, at one point. And then he said he ridiculous, say, oh no, man, this wasn't right, And then they went on to silence him.
And Cat Williams ratted everybody out.
Yeah, Cat Williams ratted everybody out. And that's one of the guys they don't like is Cat Williams. They always after him, trying to get him crossed up and some stuff. And because when they give you the power and you tell them the truth is got to be what's the word I'm looking for? It's got to be a disclaimer on the truth. If you tell somebody the truth, you got to put a disclaimer on it, because the devil or the people that's out to stop the truth, they will come after you, man, and then try to, make you have a hard time. And it's like this, but never give up, never stop. If you never stop fighting, they got to leave you alone eventually. And I said this too. In order, when somebody hating on you, when people hating, you don't gotta pay them. Haters gotta get paid to participate. Most haters, they want to get paid. I'm telling you, man, I ain't never really seen a hater that they want to get paid. It's very rare. Usually, if a hater that's hating you, they don't want to get paid, they doing it for a personal vendetta. But most 95% of haters, they got to get paid. And how do they get paid? With your attention. You got to paying that. That's why they call it paying attention. You got to pay them by giving them attention. So if you don't pay them, eventually they're going to just go on to the next guy that's going to pay them. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody going to stay on a job that ain't going to pay them. So don't worry about the haters. You know what I'm saying? Let them hate, and they going to just, after 3-4 days and not get a week or go after that bye week, at 2 weeks, they don't get paid. They go to the next guy. You know what I'm saying? They going to work for somebody else. Because I ain't paying you nothing. If you were hating on me, I ain't paying you nothing. I ain't paying you a crumb. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. Because, hey, you got to go get somebody else to pay you on that end. Because I'm all divine love. And I help everybody. I work with anybody. I ain't got no problem working with anybody that's all moving in love. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we was before they made us scared of each other. You know what I'm saying? You scared of your brother. You scared that your brother is going, I ain't scared of my brother. I want to help my brother. I want to see how I can make him better than me. That way we can help each other, and that way we can win together. You know what I'm saying? If I can help you be better, you can help me be better. We can win together. I'm telling you, man. And that's what they don't want. That's what this whole game is about. It's about keeping us separated, keep us on different avenues. That's what religion was about. You got people that's Muslims, people that's, and all those are good schools. It depends on how Christianity is a good school. Christianity is the spiritual school. Because when you go into Christianity, you get more to the spiritual aspect of things, spiritual warfare, spiritual battle, spiritual powers. But then in Islam is more a physical aspect of the 360 physical, where you're dealing with the washing of the hands, you're dealing with discipline. As far as the physical, like certain things you don't eat. We don't eat pork in Islam. Christians eat pork though. Some Christians don't, but we don't eat pork. We don't eat pork in Islam, and so that is a discipline, because it's a scientific proof that pork is not good for you. Especially when the Chinese is the ones that's raising them, and then they ban them from being imported to their own country. Now, how is all the pig farms owned by Chinese? 70% of them, they raising the pigs that they chop up and put in pork chop in your grocery store, right? And then they won't even let those pigs be exported into their country. Now, something don't sound wrong with it. They say we banning the U.S. pigs from our country, but hey, ain't you raising U.S. pigs? They say, well, yeah, but don't mention that no more. Don't mention it. Well, we don't know nothing about it really. Technically, we don't hold nothing about that. Donald Trump and them busted the Chinese on so many scams. They had an operation up in, I think it was Maine or somewhere. They had out this whole operation where they could crash the whole communication systems. But they ended up getting caught. Yeah, man. Like you said, a whole bunch of stuff they don't even broadcast on the news. But this ain't our fight. Our fight is already won. You know how? Because we won the physical war already. This is just a mental war. We don't have to do nothing physically. We don't have to go out and attack the white man. That's crazy. Because the white man is a natural killer. And he'll make it look good when he kill you and get away with it. Just like he did Trayvon Martin and the rest of them. So that ain't no good tactic. We tried that with the Black Panthers. We had guns. We tried to, and you see it. They wiped everybody out. You see what they did to. You see what they did to Freddie P. up in Chicago. Like you see how they sabotaged Geronimo Pratt, right? So going at the devil straight up to fight him in combat, we was good at that. We good at that, but they no method for this dude, because it's like fighting a drunk guy. Fighting him like that is like fighting a drunk guy. I don't know if you ever came in contact with a drunk fight. A drunk fight is a fight you don't want to get into, because you'll be beating the hell out of them and they still get up. Come on, sucker. Come on. I want some more. Give me some more.
You know, you gotta sit there and, especially the white guys, some white guy, boy, a white drunk guy, you'll be fighting 5 hours there with him. I just saw some guys just got say head to head with this and take off running. They were whooping the guy ass and take off running from the fight because they just tired of fighting. They're gonna beat the brakes off there. I'm gonna kill this guy if this guy go for some more, right? I'm gonna get the hell up out of here for this guy. You know, this guy's crazy. He a demon or something. He possessed or something, right? But it really, the liquor make you possessed though. It's a different type of possession. But those type of incidents where we ain't gonna be able to fight them like that. This is a mental war. We won a physical war. They really lynched us. These guys are really lunatics. With the you think the guy that put the Willie Lynch together and the Willie Lynch letter together ain't a real lunatic? Man, you guys should be crazy. Take a Nubian sister, tie her onto both limbs, one to this horse, one to that horse. Beat both horses. A pregnant sister. Let me add that. A pregnant sister beat both horses till they rip her apart. And then when the baby hit the ground, stomp him to death. Man, that ain't no. What type of being is that? That's not a human being. That's a being who's really technically insane. Not next to say because it's really the opposite, right? Because sane is insane. You know what I'm saying? If he's insane, then he's in his right mind. But if he ain't sane, he's out of sane. They should really say out of sane, right? You know what I'm saying? He's out of his sanity. He's out of his right mind. If he want to do something like that to a innocent woman, you know what I'm saying? He's got to be. And so we dealt with that type of energy for a while, so we can't fight him like that. How we beat him is all we got to do is be on the same mental wave. Everybody be aware of his moves, all of his get downs. We got to be aware of all of his moves and everything that he do, right? And just teach our children these same things that we learned. Because it's like this. A lot of the young people, and I know my brother, he's old school, and I consider myself as old school too, even though I'm only 40. I just turned 40. But a lot of problems that we go through as the young people, it's because we ain't listen to the wise old folks, because they already, it's like this is a scientific experiment, and in scientific experiment, people collect data, then they come up with hypotheses, then they come up with the thesis and the final conclusion. Well, a lot of the stuff that we going through and having problems with, a lot of our ancestors already went through, and they came out with all the data, the thesis, and the conclusion. They said, well, this don't work because of this. And so, but it's people out here, our young people, that still, after they see it, they don't really read that, right? Those lines that the elders give us. But if they really read that line where it says, hey man, it's like this. I'm standing on the corner, right? And my job is to flag people down and tell them, hey man, you might want to slow down because there's a cliff, 2 minutes right here down the road. If you keep speeding like that, you're gonna go right off the cliff. Right? And so that's my job. I stand right there. So somebody pull up on the street, I flag them down and say, hey man, you may want to slow down. Whatever you're doing, whether you're smoking crack, whatever you're doing, you may want to slow down because it's a dead end. Like it's gonna go off the cliff right here, man. It's a cliff. Some people say, man, you know what? They heed the warning. But some people say, man, to hell with you. I don't want to listen. They get down on the gas. They mash on the gas and ride right off the cliff. And then I'm listening to them saying, as they falling down, because they didn't listen to the guy that's standing right on the corner and told them, hey man, you may want to slow that down, slow your car down. There's a cliff right here. So the old people are like that. They are the people. A lot of some people are assigned, our ancestors are assigned to stand on the corner and say, hey man, you don't got to go down this road. I've been down it already. It's a dead end, dog. I'm telling you, it's a dead end. So you just go on and find you another road. And I'm telling you, this road right here don't work. 25 people did the same road, and they all come back with the same data, the same conclusion, that it lands you in prison, it lands you getting robbed, it lands you getting stabbed, it can end your life. It's just a whole bunch of headache behind that road, going down that road. There's a whole bunch of curves on that road, sharp turns on that road. You know what I'm saying? That sharp turn might be you losing your family, like losing your wife. It's a sharp turn, man. Because I'm gonna tell you why that's a sharp turn. That's a sharp turn because if somebody's saying they love you today, and then they say they hate you, or they fear you tomorrow, because the two exact opposite of love is fear. But they say hate, right? So they say they love you today and they hate you tomorrow. That's like a sharp turn. It's like you say you love me. That ain't real love though, because real love can't just do that. Real love just can't say I love you today and then, I don't got nothing to do with you tomorrow, because true divine love is it's an unconditional energy that can't never waver. That's why I'm gonna give you an example. Like there's some mothers that might not agree with their sons liking the same sex, but because of divine love, they accept them. They don't care. That's my son. I love him. I don't care what he do. Really, I don't like it, but that's my son. It's like that type of thing. That's divine love. It's another perspective is divine love, which is his greatest gift, which is his very own life. That's the ultimate highest form of divine love, for you to risk your life for somebody else. And I'm gonna give you an example of that. Just say, for example, a kid was playing in the yard, him and his brother, throwing football back and forth. The other brother misses the football. He's facing the road. It rolls into the road. The one brother turns around to run in the street, but he's a kid, so he ain't aware of, hey, watch for cars. And he's in the car in the moment. So he runs in the road after the ball. And meanwhile, it's a car coming. Right? The mother is sitting on the porch. The mother has less than a couple of split seconds to make a decision. Do I save my kid and risk myself getting hit? Or do I just let my kid get hit? But the mother, in a split second, that's divine love. Divine love don't even think twice. It just do it. Right? So divine love made her get up instantly and go and risk and push that kid out the way. She got hit. She lived, but she got hit. But divine love made her didn't care about getting hit, and it gave her extra power too, not to be completely injured, like she would like she would have been, because the love will once her you got what you call a electromagnetic force field around you, and you can control it, and it actually protects you from viruses and everything. People don't know that, right? Well, some people might know. But it also, if you get in the mode of divine love, you can't be harmed by nothing, really. You can get hit by a car. That's the real Superman power. That if you in divine love, a car can run right into you. You probably can put your hand there and make it stop. That's the real. It's real energy, and it's dealing with your force field though, and your emotional state. It's an emotional state. That way you make a decision in your third eye chakra and your heart chakra that I'm gonna do this no matter what the outcome. Especially if it's divine. That means that your electromagnetic field gonna pick that up, and it's gonna start vibrating to green first in the middle. Then it's gonna go out to purple. The outskirt purple is gonna be the same thing. It's the same energy that UFOs use when they fly to space, not to keep debris from hitting it. It's called magnetic force field. You got this. It's just that they lowered it with the food that they feeding us, the water they poison our water with chlorine. Because when we take a shower, that weakens it, right? So they got a whole bunch of different methods to weaken this defense mechanism. But what they don't want to tell you, and they kind of try to teach you, if you know how to read the Bible and Jesus' story, you kind of get an idea on what it was about. But even though they made that up with peace on them, but they took the concepts from ancient Egyptian teachings, ancient Kemet teachings, dealing with Haru and Inanna and Osiris. So it was already a teachings that we had about this, about the Ba and the Ka, and then all the essence and how to work this electromagnetic field around you. And like it say, like foods that lower your magnetic force, that lower this defense mechanism, like chicken, any kind of acidic foods. Dr. Sebi taught on this about acidics and alkaline. Any kind of acidic foods lower this frequency, right? And then alkaline foods help rise alkaline water, walking, getting sunlight, And I even heard people using these magnetic combs where they can comb it out and cleanse it with a comb, like with this magnetic comb, right? You actually do it with your fingers. Actually, if somebody that's a good spiritual person, they can do this with their fingers around you like that, and they can clean it, right, like that. Like with their use 4 fingers like that and clean it, right? Yeah, but that is a defense mechanism that we got as a people, and as a Nubians, we got it stronger, and that's what gives us that. Another name for it is soul power, right? It's rhythm and blues. It's rhythm, and we had the rhythm. They the one gave us the blues, right? When they started doing the police brutality on us, so we already came with the rhythm. They gave us the blues, so now we say we got rhythm and blues. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get, because if you listen to blues, it's all about, oh, they beat me down, oh, she left me for $2, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's all it, and the blues is all blue, like, sad, like honky tonk, like, man, that type of energy, right? And so that went out. Blue. Somebody, I hear it's a couple young brothers that's doing a little blues, man. Like, and they pretty hot. That's now, right? But like I say, I like jazz. But that's the whole paradigm against us. To me, man, is just to keep us from just being coming back awoke and online, coming back online with the rest of the world. And why I say that is we the only people that call ourselves black, even though I love the color black and I know the more powerful aspects of black, dealing with the black stones and black matter and all this. But I'm saying we the only one that ain't came online as a people to say, hold on, because you got the people, the Chinese man don't call himself yellow, a yellow crayon. The Asians don't, the Hindus don't call themselves brown man or red man, even though we the real red man over here, right? You know what I'm saying? According to a lot, we the real red man, red copper tone people, the Native Americans. But we the only people that don't acknowledge, and in some senses, people, you got the Pan-African guys, and I'm talking about Pan-African guys. I work with everybody, right? I got Pan-Africanism information too. I got information on the presidents that they assassinated, and it was mostly because they were trying to. Most all the guys that got presidents that got assassinated in Africa is because they were speaking out against colonization. Pretty much, it's everywhere. Speaking out against the Dutch, the South African apartheid. Nelson Mandela, he spoke out. And then some people say they killed him and cloned him in prison. That's what some of the Africans say. But and brought the clone out and let him do the puppet game. So it's like we really could go anywhere with this, man. We the hour and 40. Anybody got any questions in the chat, man? Like we going, like, I probably went everywhere. I don't know, we went everywhere. Hey, free Dr. Malachi York, man. Yeah, so they demonetized my page today, and I got 2,600 videos, and that was really my only source of income. So now I gotta just do something else. I paid all my bills off of that YouTube, and still it was. I feel like I was still being shadow banned and not making what I was supposed to make, and just enough to get by. When I put out 10,000 70 videos a month, and
so you know what? Put in the private chat all your Cash App links, and I'll put it on the screen, bro.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that, man.
Yeah, because family, he's a natural griot. My brother's been going for like an hour and 45 minutes, and he ain't grabbed a cup of water yet. I think you could go into a morning, man. If I was just to, put it on auto drive, you could ride, right?
Man, look, I done taught a 24-hour class with one person assisting me. My child 15 elder, me and 15 elder, we started at like 8 that morning, and I teach for 6-7 hours. Then he'll come on for like 2, 4, 5 hours. Teach.
We ain't gonna do that tonight, bro. You ain't wearing me out.
No. We ain't gotta do that. No, I'm just a product of Dr. Malachi York, man. So it's I got so much information. I'm armed to the T. Man. I'm telling you, like we was built.
I'm armed to the T. Like, and then being that the type of person that I am, I don't reject nobody's. Like, I don't reject Christians. I don't reject nobody. No matter what you believe, I don't reject you. I accept you and take in what your perspective is, so they can help me grow and help me learn to teach you. So that's what that's who Doc was, right? And we don't, and so we accept Masons, we accept whatever you is. It don't matter what you is. Like, if we come with your knowledge,
put your links. Text your links, man. Slow, just for a second, and then you could punch metal, the pedal to the metal, because and get some water, because you fired up, my brother. I like that background too.
Oh yeah. Here you go, right here. I'm gonna put it in there for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it, and I'm gonna put it on the screen.
Everybody, man.
Yeah, family, like, subscribe, share, because this is rare air that we're experiencing tonight. Young Elder.
And not only do I like another, like Dr. Malachi York is one of my number one master teachers, but like I say, I studied from Taj Tariq Bey. That's one of my main master teachers, Taj Tariq Bey.
He's coming on in next week.
Yeah, I know. Like, I saw him on your channel. I want to get him on my channel too, but he probably don't know it. But I study everything he put out, and I'm trying. Like, I'm just a baby in it, but I'm getting better. Like, I'm learning. Like, I take notes from all his classes, every single word that he say, and then I go, like, I was finna get ready to put, before they demonetize me, I was finna get ready to put some tapes out on he was talking about on your channel earlier, because I had been heard him talking about the Carlos and Lene thing and the black paradigm and the social. I was about to get ready to put an AI out on it, and then this happened. And then I was about to do an AI on some other stuff that he talked about. But I mostly got a lot of AIs in the Moorish playlist on a lot of the stuff that he teach. And
put your money links there, bro. Put your money links.
Then I put it in there.
No, you didn't put it yet. In the private chat, in the lower right, you see where it says private chat?
Oh, okay. I gotta put it right there in private chat.
And then I put it on the screen so that you're giving out a lot of energy. So reciprocity is a beautiful thing. Family, y'all appreciating the energy brothers coming with straight out of Louisiana? Put it in the comments, because
oh yeah, man. Yeah, I like I say, I study Dr. Sabi. He's like our master of of the health department. So it's like this. I in my mind, I built my own school in my mind, and that school has its own professors or teachers. And like, if I create, what you say?
I want to thank Arisha Stone. I want to thank you for the referral. Arisha Stone reminds me of my nephew.
Hold on, that's the wrong cash app. Hold on, it's supposed to be not okay. TV. It's supposed to be. Hold on, let me put this in there.
Take your time.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, so that's what like I said, like, even Dr. Field to me is an expert in symbolism and breaking code symbolism, right? And he was doing it. I remember some of the old videos. I can't even find them, like the ones he was breaking down McDonald's and all these different symbols. So that type of stuff, like, I studied that way back in the day. I've been doing it for a long time, right? So that type of stuff. Even like I say, Taj Tariq Bey is like the main master teacher on the more science. And I heard of other brothers like Hakeem Bey. There you go, right there.
Okay, hold on. All right, donation. Here we go. Let me just copy that. Family, help support our natural griot, young elder, because when you started up, I was like, I better go ahead and warm me up some tea, because this brother can talk to sun up. I can tell. I done had the master griots like Brother Panic, Phil Valentine's, like cut from that cloth.
Yeah, Phil Valentine's, dude.
Taj Tariq Bey, Bobby Hammett.
Yeah, he won.
Let me.
Rod Hayes won too. I don't know if you know about
Rod. Yeah, we had Rod Hayes on the show before.
Yeah, Rod could do it too.
Yeah. Create a banner. And here we go right here. Because you got a packed house right now. So you might as well.
Man, hey, I appreciate everybody coming out to kick it, man. Like I said, we just here to speed up your vibration and pretty much we are the elites. We are the inventors. That's what I was telling everybody. We are the enlightened ones. And because like if you notice everything, like refrigerators, they was built by Nubians in America.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, right there. That's it. They was built by Nubians in America. Stoplights, they was built by Nubians in America. Like I can go. I got a whole book on Nubian inventors, and it tells you like like we are way more powerful than the paradigm that they locked us in portray. They want to portray us as feminine, our man as feminine, our women as masculine. Well, that's when it's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? Like we never had that. That was like weird. And then they want to, if you notice that they do that with the sitcoms, like I say, they did Martin. They even had, and you can go through all the other ones and see the same. You begin to look, okay, all right, what was the psychological aim on this sitcom? Like, what is it? And if it's especially if it's done stimulated towards Nubians, that's why they technically really didn't like Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby got away a long time. He showed too much good light and too much positive light in some senses, because
he tried to buy NBC, and that's when things started happening.
That's right. That's the end. That's the end all, and the all under his house. You know about the all under his house, right? The all.
I know about that.
Yeah. So okay. Not only that he tried to buy NBC and from the Jewish guys, and they like, oh hell no, right? And he started going down here. Then they also found out that his house in Pennsylvania. It's got billions of dollars worth of oil on the mineral rights.
Is that your Cash App right here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so Sam Emperor, that's the Cash App right there.
Hey, the S is really supposed to be a dollar sign. The S is a dollar sign.
Okay.
Yeah, they might.
All right, so that goes. All right, so I gotta change it.
Yeah, so it's dollar sign D Young Elder.
All right, hold on a second. Let me change that.
Like I think I just put it in the chat.
Dollar sign. Let me.
Yeah, dollar sign D Young Elder.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me move in closer to my computer.
Yeah, but if we almost caught up though, because the more people you hear saying certain things like, hey, we ain't black, you know what I'm saying, that black thing is, and that's just one thing, that's just one perspective, or from people saying that, hey, this music, man, I'm just starting not to like this type of, like, you ain't making no sense no more. Like, people don't want to hear non-intelligent music. Like,
well, that's what I like about AI, is that it's literally you're putting a Motown recording studio in our phones, and we got we got brothers and sisters out here is like spooky about AI, but like Phil Valentine say, if they give us the commercial version, that means they're using something superior. And Phil Valentine said they're using synthetic synthetic intelligence. So AI is already obsolete, but we can create our own music, family. So don't be spooky. Go ahead.
That's right. It's a program called Sumo where you can create your own whole
Suno. Yep.
Yeah, but to say what go off what Dr. Phil was talking about, the reason for that is because if we got it, if we could do it, they are 40 years ahead of us, according to the military complex.
Exactly. This is Prison Planet, Chicken Farm Earth, according to Credo Mutwa, South African Zulu shaman.
Yeah, shout out Credo Mutwa, RP Credo Mutwa. The Mutwa is of the Twa, even though they say he was Zulu, but the Twa is connected with the Zulu. The Twa go back to one of the oldest, right? The Twa and the Sandsman, they the two oldest over there, right? And the whole thing. Yeah. And so
I got a question to ask you, bro. You ever did entheogens?
No.
Not yet? Okay.
Not yet. Not yet, but somebody invited me to a place where they was gonna be doing it.
Let me tell you what I did with Chat GPT, family. Listen to this. I copied and pasted the Willie Lynch papers. Then I asked Chat GPT to reverse the programming to liberate and activate the divine in the person. versus the degradation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we got to use. We gotta reverse engineer the technology, and came up with a song. And I took the rhyme from Chat GPT, and I'm sharing this family with you so that you don't be spooky and afraid of AI. Special acknowledgement to Brother Mo, special acknowledgement to Brother Mike, who are using AI for personal empowerment, because you can train it like a little puppy. And so I just want to put this up here so you can see what you can do with AI to hypnotize, reverse hypnosis of yourself. And here it is right here. Let me see. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pull this up, young elder, then I'm going to let you let it rip.
Right.
But this is Willie Lynch family reverse programming. Share screen. Here it is right here. Listen to this. And the artist is Matu. All right, so let me let it rock.
All right.
Listen close to the words.
Not on a riverbank soaked in fear, but on solid ground where truth draws near. I speak not chains, I speak not blame. I speak the spark that reclaims your name. Where lies once whisper you are small, we answer now, you stand, you call. Where minds were bent to doubt and break, we rise awake for legacy's sake. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am.
That's Willie Lynch reversed.
Yeah. That's fire, man. That's a fire idea that you did that.
Yeah. So that's what you gotta use. This technology is make it instrument. It's called hacking. You gotta hack the technology. You can't be spooky.
Yeah.
And then here's a bigger version, so that we imagine listening to this every morning or every night before you go to sleep.
Oh,
Here's
yeah.
another version.
Yeah, that's got good. The drums, the voice.
Yeah.
It's more of a
Yeah.
soothing. That's what I'm into. Like looking at like if you listen to the sound of a fish tank, like that soothing water, it gives you that feeling, like a relaxing. Hey, you ain't gotta, like, I'm telling you, man, like when I hear Young Boy, and then when I hear it be a Young Boy, it make me want to go like hurt somebody. It make me, I ain't gonna lie, like when I hear some of it make me want to go pay some guys back that did me wrong, or that I figured that like they did me wrong.
And that's programming for the prison industrial complex.
Man, that's why.
And they got vested interest in mutant forms of music to bend and twist your DNA and your melanin, family. So I want to play this, bro. This is what I like sharing, so that you can listen to this, family.
Not on a riverbank soaked in fear, but on solid ground where truth draws near. I speak not chains, I speak not blame. I speak the spark that reclaims your name. Where lies once whisper you are small, we answer now, you stand, you call. Where minds were bent to doubt and break, we rise away.
This is Willie Lynch in reverse.
I am that I am. I am
the graphics provided by artist Matu.
I am that I am.
Because as you said, young elder, the highest form of sorcery is sound, for better or worse.
But on solid ground where truth draws near, I speak not chains, I speak not blame. I speak the spark that reclaims your name. Where lies once whisper you are small, we answer now, you stand, you call. Where minds were bent to doubt and break, we rise away for legacy's sake. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. Napunak, napunak. Oh, yeah. Unity over division. Yeah. Where age was split to spark disdain, we break the young with elder brain. Old holds the map. the young, the flame. Together moving worlds, it's not blame. I am that I am.
Repetition, right, young elder?
Yeah, it's fire.
That I am.
Repetition is learning.
Where shade was ranked and ranked
And
again.
Nukpu Nuk is the ancient Kemetic, ancient Egyptian words for I am that I am. I am that I am is millions of years old.
Mhm.
I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. Nukpu Nuk. Yeah. Where sex was set as war and threat. We choose to dance, not to do it. Masculine fire, feminine sea, power and polarity, not tyranny. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am.
And thank you to young elder family, those who are able to support our brother. Please give whether it's a nickel, dime, dollar, or 10, 20, make brother holler and rap on more.
Fear was planted deep and wide, so hearts would turn and hope would hide. But fear decays when truth is fed and trust grows roots where lies once spread. I am that I am. I am that I am.
And let that rhythm activate your melanin, activate your kundalini, activate your questioning mind. All right? So,
Like
yeah,
you
bro.
could do, a second half to that. Like you could continue it. And
That's
add
5 minutes long. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes long. Like you could, like a part two, like a sequence, like what happened after the Winnie Lynch letter, like, and then reverse that. You know.
So you take family. Don't be afraid to chat GPT. You grab it by its neck and say, "I want you to create the reverse of Willie Lynch and make it rhyme."
Yeah,
I want you to. That's what you do, family. You know, so many of us are so, oh, you hear about that bad news or la, 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 la. We can't entrain our minds to be weaponized victims. And in the Willie Lynch, original Willie Lynch, they said, make the black woman, break her.
Right.
They said, beat the bitch out of her so that she brings forth wimpy, simpy sons.
That's right.
That will obey. And that's what they do. I seen it firsthand, how they buck break black women. So you know, that's a whole. We got to have you come back, bro.
They got a whole nother level. They got a whole nother level to it now. The buck breaking now is to decrease the man's income and give the woman, make the woman make more money in a lot of cases. And that it used to be like the man used to make more money back in the day. So that was one thing. Give them more jobs, and then they created the situation where they created this farewell to the man, welfare, meaning the government would give them assistance if they get rid of their man.
Ooh, I like the way you did that with the words. See what he just said?
Yeah,
he just hacked English.
You gotta think about it. So welfare is really, because you know English is really in dyslexia. According to the original, if you say, okay, English is a new language, the original language is all Hebrew. Well, Hebrew really ain't a language, it's really Syriac Arabic, but Syriac Arabic, all these languages are written from right to left. They are read from right to left, right? So if I read correctly from the ancient and I see a word like welfare, it's really saying farewell. You know what I'm saying? It's really saying farewell.
That's deep, man.
Yeah,
I never saw that. And see, that's mind control when you can't see the obvious, family. Right. We got to build more mental muscle.
Right. That's what I'm
question. That's what Dick Gregory taught me back in the day, young elder. Question everything.
I'm about to write that down. We got to build more mental muscle. I like that.
We got to build more mental muscle.
That's raw.
And question everything. Is what Dick Gregory said. Mental muscle. Question the gravity.
That's right.
Question everything.
Yeah, because they And then, but I'm gonna tell you this: it ain't really no thin line. But what people confuse that is what real is. Real is a film. Like it doesn't matter if you spell it REAL or REEL. It's all film. It's all electromagnetic signals. So
Wow.
if I can tell you, hey, it's these little gray men that look like this, they got black eyes and they move like this, and then not only that I say it, other people that don't even know me saying the same exact thing. They don't even got a camera or TV or none of that. They don't even give a damn really about it. But they really just spooked out and want to know what it was that abducted them or took them up to this metal craft, right? But if they didn't exist, how could they give a description of them? You can't give a description of nothing that don't exist. Give me a description of something that don't exist. And like I said, you can say unicorns, but that exists. You just don't know where they live at. That's all it is. Or they got it blocked off where they live at because they shoot people down for flying over there where they live at.
We got to bring you back, brother. You got to come back on the platform, man.
Yeah,
because I appreciate. I recognize. Family, you're a griot, brother. Have you ever heard? Has anybody told you that you're a griot?
Well, I heard Mother Sophia Stewart say something like that before, but we were so in a conversation that I didn't understand what she was saying. She's saying like, "Oh yeah, well she told me she's a different type of being," and then she said that about me. But I didn't never go look it up then that night though. I don't even know what it means really.
Griot means somebody that's they're a record keeper and they share it verbally.
Oh yeah, I do that. I'm a sponge, man. I'm
Yo, man, you're a natural griot, bro. Yeah, that's GRIOT. If I got the spelling correct, family. If I wrote that wrong, let me know. And there's certain brothers that are griots in the community. You know, where they could they just have this natural propensity to be able to pull stuff down. And with your gift, my brother, you create music because you're acoustical master. The way you just did reel to reel. Thank you, Yosef Febe, baby. Reel to reel. Yeah. That's breaking the hypnosis.
Yeah. So
we 2 hours in and we're gonna wrap it up. But you got an open invitation, man.
I'll go all night, man. But
I know you will. Let me tell you. You know what I did? I was like, he's a griot. I went and got me some Kinkaliba tea, bro, and drank my tea. I put the mic on mute. I said, this brother, he could do. He's going to mesmerize, hypnotize, and actualize acoustical elevation to the audience. So I drank a whole pot. Look, here's my empty pot of Kinkaliba tea. I was sitting here sipping, and I had the mic on mute because I said he don't need no background music. He just got melanin magic from spirit. Nuke poo nuke. Yeah, man. Yeah. So I'm gonna put your banners up again. Because family, I want you to
come back next
support our brother.
We can get back into it because I got so much to. So my buddies used to call me a walking and say, "Man, you a walking encyclopedia, man." You know, so you a walking encyclopedia. I guess that's another meaning of what you saying. The griot. He said, "You a walking encyclopedia, man." Like how to, and then like when I lived in New Mexico, they said that the Mexicans, my buddy, used to call me radio. They said, "Man, you
that's radio, the best."
Man. He said, "Man, we turn you to a channel, and you just don't talk. We say we want to talk about a certain channel. We just turn you to a channel, man. You can just go all for days like a radio on that one channel subject." And they start calling me the Mexicans start calling me radio. Yeah.
So we're gonna have you back, brother. I'll be honored to have you here again, family. For all those who are tuned into this channel for the first time, I'm going to play this as a exit. And I want you to just check this out. And I'm going to leave your donations here. Family, like, subscribe, share. Thank you for joining us, brother elder, young elder. And you're going to make it, man. Just keep saying, I am earthly wealth and abundance. Yes, I am.